Hello! In this video, I'll be building the first asset for my upcoming Stylized farming pack using Blender and Substance Painter. This is a breakdown, so I will highlight key decisions without going too deep. The full process took around 7 hours, and even though it's a simple model, I spent extra time refining it to match the exact look I had in mind. If you're a channel member, you can find the full real-time version in the description. Let's start! I started by modeling a blockout of what I had in mind while looking at my references. I used designs from games like Raft and Ark as reference, as well as other things I found online, including Orb's design. Overall, it's a fairly simple model and it tends to be quite similar across most games. At this basic modeling stage or blockout, I was just roughly building this scrap plot to have the base model to work with. Since I'm creating this asset in a modular way, I need to separate it into different pieces that I can work on individually. In this stage, I simply started separating the pieces into individual models to work on, such as the corner logs, the metal clamp, the side wooden planks, and the soil. I just applied some basic modifiers to improve the look before sculpting, like bevel and subdivision surface. For the side planks, I decided to create 4 variations, 2 clean and 2 cracked or slightly damaged, just to avoid creating a very noticeable repeating pattern when assembling the modular pieces. For the soil, I sculpted a 2x2 plane and duplicated it 9 times around it to preview the tileable sculpt. I have a public and very detailed video on my channel about how to create tileable PBR materials in Blender and Substance Painter. Of course, you can do all this process in Substance Designer if you want, but I usually prefer to sculpt all of this manually. Basically, using my brush bag, I added simple sculpting details to make it look like soil. It is not necessary to use any specific brush set. You can achieve this with the default brushes. It might just take a bit more time, but if you are interested, you can get my brush bag or download one of the demos. Well, when sculpting tileable textures, make sure to avoid adding very strong details in specific areas, and if you do, ensure that the tile preview looks balanced, okay? For example, if you add a crack on only one part of the texture, the repetition will be much more noticeable to the player. Of course, there are techniques to blend textures and reduce this effect inside game engines, but as you know, I upload these models to my stores, so I always try to deliver assets that are as easy to use as possible without requiring extra steps. For the rest of the pieces, the first thing I did, as always, was apply a remesh to all of them to get enough topology density for detail sculpting. As usual in my Stylized workflow, I start by adding wear on the edges of all the pieces using the scrape brush. For the wood log, I use the default crease sharp brush, which is one of my most used brushes for sculpting wood. Of course, there are many different ways to sculpt wood. Just find the one that works best for your style. You can use alphas if you want, there are plenty available on our station, but personally, this is the easiest method for me and I think it gives very clean results. Okay, for the texturing, the first thing I did was start with the soil. Using my smart material, which is free, you can grab it from the description. I added the base colors and then built up some subtle layers of texture on top using simple generators like curvature, ambient occlusion, or the texture map height. I didn't want anything too detailed. I was aiming for a soil texture that looks natural, but is still clean and without too much fine detail. When texturing tile-level materials, I usually add a slightly visible layer of random brush strokes with some blur just to break up the visible pattern and add a bit more depth to the texture. For the rest of the pieces, I simply added base colors to my material and kept playing with different layers on top until I achieved the result I was looking for, since I had to fix quite a few issues along the way. One key thing you can do and actually should do is go back to Blender and quickly assemble the final modular object. This way you can preview it in real time while texturing instead of only looking at the individual pieces. In this case, when working with modular pieces, you need to be especially careful about where you add details like shadows, for example. Since these are modular assets, you can't have big shadows in the texture because if you reuse the piece somewhere else, the shadow will still be there and it won't make sense. Because of this, you need to be more careful during the texturing process, okay? Adding this kind of details only where they make sense without affecting too much the modularity. And once back in Blender, after finishing the textures, I assembled the modular pieces. For this, I used a 150 by 150 cm cube as a grid and aligned each piece so it can be duplicated and fit together properly. I know there are different ways to approach this, but as I mentioned before, this asset is part of my stylized farming pack, so I like to keep everything as ready to use as possible for anyone who downloads it. Don't forget to export each piece separately, center at the word origin, and to properly organize your model names. And that's it for the modeling, sculpting, and texturing process of this stylized crop plot. Just a reminder, this is only a breakdown video, so I can't go over everything in detail since it is a long process. Of course, some parts like the UV unwrapping and the optimization were skipped as they tend to be quite repetitive and are covered in many of my other videos. If you enjoy my content and want to learn how to create your own models with a step-by-step guidance, you can check out my full course with over 20 hours of content. Thank you very much for all your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.